Israel's parliament has passed a bill to sharply restrict the main UN organization supporting Palestinians. The bill bans the UN Relief and Works Agency's activities within Israel's territories. The move comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's open to a short truce in the country's war with Hamas. Joining us now for more on this is Bloomberg's Dan Williams in Jerusalem, who, of course, has been following this story very closely. So, Dan, thanks for being with us. So, exploratory Gaza truce talks were held yesterday. I mean, did anything come out of it?
The fact they were held is perhaps promising. There was really a 2-month gap in those talks previously. So this shows an effort by some of the parties, at least, Israel, 2 Arab countries that have been mediating with Hamas, and the United States, which has been supervising the whole process, to see whether in the wake of the killing just 2 weeks ago of Hamas's leader, Yahya Sinwar, in Gaza, there might be a new opening, perhaps new flexibility on the part of the Palestinian group when it comes to releasing at least some of the hostages it holds in exchange for a truce of some kind in the Gaza Strip. According to Israel, those talks ended, and now messaging has to be relayed to Hamas by Qatar, by Egypt, to see how open Hamas is. We also had one of those mediators, Egypt, saying pretty much in conjunction with those talks that it would be interested in putting forward really a very, very small deal, which would constitute 2 days cessation of fighting in exchange for the release of a small number of hostages and presumably a small number of Palestinian prisoners by Israel. And Israel has expressed openness in principle to this. We're also hearing that as far as the mediators are concerned, as far as third-party countries are concerned, even if this is just a drop in the bucket of trying to resolve this crisis, it would at least be a chance for Hamas to prove that it still has open channels, it can still deliver on a truce, on a hostage release, despite having lost its leader so recently in Gaza.
So, Dan, this could potentially be a turning point in the war. I mean, what though could derail any sort of progress on this front? You mentioned a lot of players that are sort of a part of these negotiations that are happening. Is there anyone that could potentially be the outlier to any sort of resolution here?
Well, to judge from the stance of Netanyahu's critics, he's been accused within Israel of perhaps not being as keen as possible on exploiting every opening because of political concerns, because of an electoral stopwatch given the upcoming US election, perhaps thinking that whoever is elected, whoever will be in the White House next, might be better or worse for Israel, and it's worth Israel biding its time. He denies this, of course. It's also worth remembering that a raid against Israel is not only Hamas, but Hamas's sponsor, Iran, and other Iranian proxies, which have been fighting Israel, which have been attacking Israel from places as far-flung as Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen. So presumably, if Iran is not on board with a deal like that, it would be hard to push forward. On the other hand, Iran has also taken quite a drubbing recently, given Israel's attack over the weekend. It may be in a position where it's doing its own strategic rethink and may see this opportunity as a way of diffusing the Gaza situation, diffusing other fronts, and buying itself a reprieve while it does a strategic rethink.
And Dan, just on the front with Israel in particular, we did get some news that Israel is about a year away from, in a sense, stepping up their own air shield. I mean, why is this significant to the broader picture and the crisis that we've been paying close attention to?
This is presumably a game changer, not just for Israel, but for the entire world of missile defense. Israel says that a year from yesterday, so less than a year from now, it will field a pioneering laser-based interceptor system. What does this mean? Israel has a pioneering interceptor missile-based system whereby it shoots at incoming ballistic missiles, rockets, drones, the occasional mortar bomb with missiles that cost at the very least $50,000, $60,000 a piece. And of course, when you're dealing with bigger threats, the price tag goes up to about $3.5 million per interception. Now it says that for short-range threats, it will have a laser interceptor. This will focus a high-energy beam on the incoming threat, burn it up, blind it, disable it in mid-air, and essentially neutralize the threat. And the Israelis say each interception will cost as little as $5. So it changes the entire economy of long-term confrontations. It also eliminates the risk on the ground of debris from interceptor rockets. We've seen that repeatedly during this war. And it will also make Israel's enemies or anyone who might be facing someone equipped with this sort of equipment wonder if there's any point of trying to hemorrhage the budget with sustained barrages when shooting them down is actually so cheap.